Hello guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, Spirit Babies. Um, Today we're going to be reacting to Tyler Reynolds. So if you guys don't know him, go follow him. He's on YouTube, Twitter, whatever socials that he has. Yeah, so let's get started.
A brand new video, and I know that we've waited a little bit of time, and I apologize, but I figured this was the right way to get back on schedule, get back on track, and give you guys the exact content that I've been wanting to provide for you. And we've gone through a lot. Last video you've seen was the last video with M, and yeah, I mean, I'm filming this like the week after she left, right? So this is just getting ahead of schedule, and it stinks, especially not having her on this investigation. But guys, to start it all off, bringing everything fully back, we're here at one of my top favorite locations ever. We're in Quincy, Massachusetts, here at the USS Salem, and the stories here are basically endless. Going from multiple deaths to just all of the stories that the soldiers want to provide and give us. It is just non-stop. Now this ship is crazy. It goes way back. It is a ship that hasn't been running during its time for that long. And what this was basically was the medical ship. It came in, it gave all of the help that it needed. I mean, you guys see it, this thing is absolutely massive. These are just some of the guns. And coolest thing, not really coolest, but a really interesting thing is that none of these cannons were actually shot in battle. This was strictly a medical ship. It wasn't fast enough. It didn't have the distance that it could travel. So what it would do would be the ship that would just go in and get all troops that were wounded. It would go through like all these hurricanes. I don't know if there was a tsunami type deal that it went through, but this place is insane. And I mean, you guys can see, and I'll show you right now. It's just all of these massive just guns, and I mean the torpedoes. You got this cool bridge sight, and there's like everything. It's just old, and now just sitting here in Quincy, Massachusetts for investigations, for tours, for reenactments. And I mean, it's just a very interesting spot. And it's just, honestly, guys, one of my favorites. Now, I've been here, and guys, like, look, like, you can see all just different rooms that we have to go through and find. There's still so many rooms that I personally haven't seen myself, and it just shows how much this is. I might be double digits going onto this ship, and that is crazy, let alone, right? Because, you know, who can say that they've been on a ship or just any location that, you know, that many times, which makes me really have a draw to this place. I feel like there are spirits that I connect to. There's new spirits, there's brand new rooms, and it's really interesting about these new rooms, right? What we have is like navigation. We have the whole engine room. All of these are brand new, and they're opening to the public, so you guys can actually come here and see it, but I'm going to be the first person ever to film it and document it and give it to you guys here on YouTube. And that's what I'm super happy about, because like I said, having a location that I've been to so many times and still being able to experience new things is something that I'm going to treasure, you know what I mean? I've been here for about 2 publics, and I've seen these rooms, and I'm the only person to ever really go down there both times and be able to witness. Now, the workers here, they've obviously have seen it. They've done their stuff, and they've been getting great communication. They said that this ship has been so active, so it really gets me excited to give you guys absolutely everything. Now, if you guys don't know, USS Salem, they called it the Sea Witch, and I don't really know why they call it the Sea Witch, but yeah, it's something that is just, I love looking at it every single time. You always get crazy sunset views that sadly I'm missing. The cool bridge, and I'll show you guys all of that at the end of the video, and you can see for yourself just on what this just beautiful ship looks like at night with the blue light. I don't know. It's visually so cool, paranormally so cool. Guys, if you're ever in the area, come check this out, because Don, he's been so much help letting me come on the ship, and it's just really cool. Now, guys, I've brought back somebody that you've seen before. It's Shane. He does the automatic handwriting. And I think to do something so different on the ship, especially this ship, it's never been done before, is something that is going to bring out a whole new story. We have no idea who we're going to be talking to, so it makes it exciting. I love this ship, and it's just so cool. So guys, let's get back into it. The schedule's here. We're going to be going back, or we're going to be going back to every other weeks for Saturdays, 1 o'clock. So
So how you doing? I'm Luke Calcagni. I want to welcome you guys on board the USS Salem, CA-139. The Salem is a heavy cruiser. She was built right here in the Boston Shipbuilding Yard back in 1949, commissioned in 1949. She only survived 10 years, built in 1949, decommissioned in 1959. Throughout her 10-year existence, it would be hard-pressed for you to find any ship in naval history that has seen as much death and destruction without firing a single shot in combat as the USS Salem has. The reason being, few things have happened throughout the course of the ship's life, throughout the course of the ship's existence. 1953, she was sailing in the Mediterranean, coming home, and there was a major earthquake off one of the Ionian Islands off the coast of Greece, where because the hospital in Greece was destroyed, she, for all intents and purposes, wound up being the hospital for the area. It's predicted that around the range of 1,500 to 2,000 injured Greek civilians were brought on board and treated. A number of those passed away, anywhere from children to adult women and adult men. Some animals were even brought on board, which is pretty amazing, like their dogs. In 1956, they were conducting gun firing exercises, anti-aircraft gun firing exercises, and a ship called USS John R. Pierce, who was also firing at the time. For some reason, they paused the weapons firing, and the sailors had double loaded one of the gun mounts, not realizing that they didn't fire the gun that had already been loaded. So when it double loaded and they restarted the exercise, the gun mount exploded. A lot of those sailors were injured and treated on board. Some of them died on board here as well. There was also another accident where the USS Leyte, an aircraft carrier, had a catapult explosion back in 1955, where a bunch of those sailors were treated and brought on board. So the Leyte and the John R. Pierce were in the same battle group as the right here, the USS Salem. So you figure a ship like this size, there was about 1,600 total sailors. It was very rare that if a ship got underway, that sailors wouldn't get injured and die on board the ship. Back in the day, before safety really became an issue, you'd be hard-pressed to find a ship that got underway for 4 to 6 months and 2 or 3 sailors didn't die. I mean, it just happened all the time. So all in all, throughout the ship's life, the 10-year existence, it's upwards of 110 to 120 sailors and civilians died on board the ship. Now, a lot of people ask why the Salem was decommissioned only lasted 10 years. Well, back in the height of the Cold War, the U.S. and the Russians were fighting each other, trying to get smaller and faster with submarines. The Salem just wasn't meant for that type of combat. She was meant to go to combat with other ships her size, pull alongside and slug it out with the big guns. The Salem was just too slow to outrun the torpedoes and outrun the submarines, so she really didn't last all that long. So that's pretty much the major history of the ship.
So the cool thing about this, guys, is that these rooms recently just opened up for public view, and we're gonna get a little insight on what these rooms were, and just the basic idea of them.
All right, so the room we're at right now is the Combat Information Center. So when a ship is underway, this is where the sailors sit. This is where they operate the sonar, the radar. You have your sonar devices here. You have your radar devices over here. This is where they're tracking all of the other ships that are in their area, all the planes that are in the area. If you look at this plot board right here, so this was the last stuff that was written on the ship, the last time the ship was underway. So you have all the aircraft that they're tracking, how far away they are. This was the aircraft, the carrier battle group, USS Saratoga. So these are all the ships that were in the battle group. This is plotting out what they're looking for. So if you see bogey, that's an enemy vessel or enemy plane. Circles are planes. Squares are ships, and then the triangles are submarines. So these are all U.S. ships that they're tracking. So this is where they're surrounded. So this is the last time the ship was underway. If you come in this space over here, so this room right here is pretty much damage control central. So if a ship takes on any kind of damage, any kind of fire, any kind of electrical, any kind of water damage. These are all the control knobs that help the sailors figure out how to shut stuff off, how to turn on fire suppression systems, how to turn off electricity. All these devices are radio that they communicate with the different areas of the ship, so that way they know what's going on. Right? So we do get activity down here. We have one sailor that we're speaking to right now, who sits out on the plotting board, right out there.
Back there.
Right in this round table right here. So I'm not going to give you his name. I'm not going to tell you what he does. You seem to be already figuring some of that stuff out, which is amazing. But he's very good to us. We'll let him know. We'll let him know that you guys are friends. He obviously knows this gentleman, so because he was down here talking to him for a while. So you guys have free reign. Do whatever you want to do.
So we may get along, although different branches. I was Army.
Doesn't matter. You're a service member.
So we might be able to
introduce yourself. Let them know. Let them know when you're on board the ship. Doesn't matter if you were Navy or not. Let them know you're a service member, because you understand the service, you understand the rank structure, you understand all that stuff. They actually appreciate it. They didn't really realize our team had any service members on board on the team, so they were kind of shy to talk to us. It wasn't really until my friend passed away and Don's friend passed away that when those spirits came on board, and my wife Michelle, who's a sensitive, realized that he was following us around. It wasn't until that happened where those spirits came on board and told all these other sailors, hey, these are our friends, talk to them. And it wasn't until that happened that stuff really started to spike. And lately it's been insane on the ship. Not in a bad way, in a good way. We talk to all these spirits like they're humans, like they're our friends. And I think that's why we get a lot of the activity we get. I mean, you've seen it when you were here. It turns off equipment like crazy. You're going to hear noises and sounds all the time, which I'm sure you're hearing right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling someone back here.
Yeah, he's probably back here.
I agree.
He's probably back here. When people like us join the military, they join the military to get away from a life that they didn't like. Whether they're getting away from a place they didn't want to live, they're getting away from family. They do whatever they want to do to get them out of that life. And they come in the military, they join the Navy, Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard. They get a good job, they get a good place to live, they get friends, they get a roof over their head, they get a family. And, this becomes, they find a meaning in life. So this becomes some of the happiest times of their lives. And when some of these sailors pass away, when some of these service members pass away, they revert back to a time in their life when they were happiest. Which is why I think a lot of the sailors that are coming on board the ship right now, a lot of the spirits that we're talking to, they're coming on board because this was the happiest time in their life. So we have people on board that were stationed on here. We have some that were never stationed on board. We have civilians that come on board that we talk to that are just, that they love it here. I mean, it's incredible.
And you might be able to agree with this, and I know they will, that once you join the military, there is no going home after.
Nope.
Because this is what you know is home, and what you left is no longer the same. So this is the place where you felt that you had family, friends.
Yep.
I mean, you're ready to die for each other, so can't really expect that back home. So
you get people that you love like brothers and sisters that will stay with you forever. And that's why being on board the ship for us, like, I'm not even sensitive. I'm just a volunteer. I come on board, I'm with the team. Like, my wife's a sensitive. Jimmy he's our camera expert, our technical expert. We have a lot of sensitives on the team. And I come on board just because I'm a prior sailor. My wife wanted to come on board and say, hey, we're going to go check out the USS Salem. I'm thinking, all right. Being out of the Navy at the time since 2012, 2013, I wanted to come on back on board a ship and see what it felt like to be back again once I was out of uniform. And I came back here and all the stuff I've seen, I've just never turned my back on it. This place is, it's a memorial. It really, really is. Yep. The spirits that have died on board, this place is a memorial. That's why we take it so seriously. That's why we talk to these guys like they're still alive. And they appreciate it. And that's why they communicate with us.
Absolutely.
It's pretty awesome.
Just like anybody, spirits especially deserve respect, and that's what they'll get, And a lot of them have a story that they want to share, and sometimes it's just not the right person to share that story with. That's why people complain that they're hasn't been any activity or whatever, it's because they're not ready to open up and talk to you yet.
Right.
There's a time and a place, and
I am not
a certain group of people maybe, but they'll open up eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Once they know they can trust you, they'll start opening up to you. Once they know that you don't have negative intentions.
I kept picking up the name Sherman. I don't know if that has any relevance to this location, but it was prior to getting here, so there might have been a Sherman at one point on this ship. And I don't know if he's going to want to come through and talk later, but I don't know if that's ringing any bells for you.
Not me, no. But that's not to say that they're not here. Like I said, we've only encountered one sailor down here. Yeah. But this area housed probably 20 to 30 sailors, enlisted an officer. So I mean, there's a lot of people down here who could be down here that we haven't communicated with everybody yet. Like I said,
definitely more than one down.
No, absolutely, I believe that. But we've only been lucky communicating with the one. If there's more down here and you got a name, and we can start talking, that'd be awesome. If you can sense another one, that'd be amazing.
What do you think? I think we might pick up some new ones tonight. Yeah, there's a lot more than just one down here, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Chair right there.
Yeah. Somebody was standing right here, man. And they like the corners, back corners.
So, he is
I also feel a lot of like sickness too. I didn't know that this was a hospital prior, but
yeah. I already know so much. I'm not giving his name. But he sits at this table. He did the charting on that table right there, and this is where we get a lot of his activity, right here.
And he does hang out in that corner. A couple of us have been touched back in that corner.
Yep, back here.
So
And who's this?
it's the sailor that hangs out down here.
The operations specialist.
If you're over there, don't be surprised if you feel something, send something, because he does when there's people down here. He kind of starts over there.
yeah, as soon as we got down here, I picked up on somebody back
he's
there.
he was definitely in that corner when we came down.
Yeah.
So this is one of those rooms where we just started coming down. I think you guys are you were on the first team that came down. So this is the second time that we've had a crew down here. So this is really special for us, showing you guys this area.
This is one of my new all-time favorite rooms.
I like it. Here we go.
It does that. It can.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I'm sad.
Okay.
Are you sad too?
OS3, it's Lou, Michelle, and Jim. If you're here with us, let us know. Was that just you that hit the REM pod? It'd be great to hear from you again.
Hey, let's go.
OS3, maybe when the guests are down here later, you can tell them what your name is. Are you willing to do that? Okay. So I'm not going to tell them. They'll have to figure it out. Thank you. Is his name Richard?
Dang.
Okay. I don't know why I just heard Richard.
OS3, are you alone right now?
Nope. There's two there.
Seagulls.
Oh, okay. I just didn't.
Scared the shit out of me, man.
At first I just hear it. I'm like, what is that
Sounds like a
noise?
wheelchair or something. I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's seagulls.
OS3, is the other spirit that's down here with you, does their name start with an R? First name? Okay. Is it someone we've spoken to before?
No one's upstairs, all right? Did you hear that?
I did.
Like two bangs? No.
No, upstairs.
100%, like two bangs, just boom, boom.
Oh, wow.
Because it sounded like
It's
something
already
was happening.
happening. I absolutely loved the video. And I will definitely add you in the credits, tag you, all that stuff. So, love you. And hoping to do more. So, yeah.